The experiences discussed in this video are my own personal experiences and do not reflect the entire Jewish religion. The Jewish religion, like any other religion, has people that practice to all different extents. I grew up in a small extremist community that functions as a cult. Just like Christianity is a religion that has communities that function as a cult, Judaism does too. If you disagree, feel free to come and debate me. Also, the fact that you have access to the internet and you're even seeing this right now means you're not currently in the cult, so back the HG level hockey stick off.
But yeah, I figured I'd come on here and just do my makeup and see if anybody wants to debate. Oh, Prudent. Hey, how are you? Hey, how are you?
Yeah, hello.
Hey, how you doing? Season 2 of Unorthodox? No, I haven't watched
How
that.
are you?
I'm good. I finally got my sister's Netflix password though, so I am going to be watching stuff that are on Netflix, finally. I'm good. What's up?
I'm good too.
You're good? Having a good day?
Cushion today. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
I have a question. We kind of touched on this yesterday, but we didn't really get an answer, but with somebody else. Do you believe in the Trinity?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and you believe in the Old Testament, correct?
Both. I believe in both.
Okay, perfect. So, the thing is, in the Old Testament, there are a few places where God clearly says, I am one, I will always be one, and there will never be another. If you believe in the Trinity, that 3 is 1 or whatever, why would God make sure to say that I am one and there is no, like, to say I'm one, I will always be one? Like, why wouldn't he just leave that out? If there's the Trinity, why would he so specifically say the opposite, that, like, I am one and I will always be one?
I get you. I get where you're heading to. And I will clear that.
Sure, my dear.
Yeah. Can you listen to me? The meaning of Trinity. What do you understand by the word Trinity? In your own context.
What?
Understanding. What do you believe in Trinity in your own level of understanding?
Oh, my own level of understanding is that God has 3 parts to him. The what is it? The Son, the Spirit, and something else, and the Father, something like that. Yes? No? I can't hear you. I don't know if it's your connection or something, but I know, super fancy. Although I should have done my eyes before putting on my foundation.
Wow,
Yeah.
looking beautiful. So can you?
Huh?
Yeah. The meaning of Trinity. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Can you hear? The meaning of Trinity comes having 3. Why they believe that? The meaning of Trinity, God have shown himself to a man in 3 forms. Am I right?
Oh, wait, Kyle just disappeared. Kyle was here. Yeah, that he's right. But so my question is though, why would it so specifically?
The meaning of God the Father, God the Son,
Kyle.
and God the Holy Spirit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hello,
right.
Can you hear me?
Sorry, before you continue, I just want to say hi to Kyle and tell him thank you for yesterday.
The meaning of God the Father,
did you get it to work?
God the
Super
Son.
helpful. Sorry, I'll let you continue, Prudence. I just wanted to say hi to Kyle and just tell him thank you for yesterday.
Did you get it working?
Not fully, but now that I know that that's an option, I'll work on it some more because there's a small delay. Sorry, Prudence. I'll let you continue. I just want to, but there's a small delay from that, so people weren't talking at the right time. But now that I know it's an option, I'll figure it out. I might start going live on YouTube instead.
That's gonna have an even larger delay. Anyway, we'll let this guy keep talking. I didn't mean to come and interrupt. I came in to be on topic, and here we are already. My fault.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, Prudent, you can continue. No, sorry about that. I just wanted to thank you, though. Yeah, Prudent, you can continue.
It's okay. Yeah.
Prudent, again, I can't hear you. I heard you say it's okay, and then I heard nothing after that.
No, I heard the after that, and then it was nothing.
Right. Oh, so, honey.
How's Iron Shark? I see you, Iron Shark.
Yeah, Iron Shark's awesome. But I want to hear what Prudent has to say. But Prudent, I'm gonna put you down and then request to come back up. Hopefully that'll help. I came to tell a story because this is like the live for religions. Okay.
Ooh. So like, this isn't like a story like me trying to push religion on anybody either. For anybody that doesn't know who I am. So no, I was chilling in my house, right? I had to work, and this is like a week ago. And I'm setting my alarm for 10:30, like, all right, I'm going to get up, get ready, get some coffee, whatever. So I go to sleep. And I wake up at 9:30 in the fucking morning to knocking at my door. And I was like, who the hell is knocking on my shit? Because nobody ever knocks on my door. Like, my friends know they can just walk in. All they do is text me in advance. And then nobody else besides my neighbor would knock. But even then, you know, that's never that early in the morning. They know not to bother me because I'm always asleep. So I open up the door, and there's these two missionaries standing there. And I was like, God. Oh, we're doing this? All right. Like, I just woke up. I'm over here in, like, sweatpants and no shirt. Like, this is awkward as hell.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, how can I help you? They go, you know, do you believe in our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ? And I said, I made up, so I didn't even know what to say. I don't know how to turn people down with that stuff. So I was just like, yeah, I've been Baptist for a long time. Like, fuck, I have. I'm agnostic. But, so I just, like, instinctively gave the guy my Facebook and, like, told him to message me. And we talked about it at a later date. And I went back to bed, and then he messaged me later that day, and I still haven't responded. So it's been, like, a week.
Yeah. Sorry, I have issues with my network.
Oh, okay, we can hear you now, Prudent. Yay. 1 second though, before you start again, I know I want to just not interrupt you once you start. Now I can hear you, but just to answer the person saying there's a wonderful community spirit within the Hasidic Jewish culture. Yes, but that doesn't make it not a cult. There's a wonderful spirit within the Mormon culture as well, but it doesn't make it not a cult. Okay, sorry.
Every religion's a cult in a way.
No, I disagree with that. But 1 second, I don't want to get sidetracked. I want to hear Prudent's answer, and then we'll touch on why I don't think every religion is a cult.
All good. I'm getting ready to go to Walmart. I just came to say hi and tell that story, so I'll listen for a bit.
Okay. Okay, Prudent. Sorry I keep interrupting you. I'm trying to stay on topic. Yes, Prudent.
Yeah. It's okay. I understand. Every religion is a cult, according to Carl.
Well, he said somewhat, but yeah. Okay. Yes. Could we though?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Could we? Although I want to hear your answer on like the whole why it would so clearly state the opposite of the Trinity if the Trinity is correct. Like, why would it just not state the opposite? Hello? Oh, man.
You're talking about the Trinity, right? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay.
No, I can. Yeah, okay.
When we are talking about the Trinity, regarding the Trinity is real. It's real. It's just like, not even like, let me just go straight to the point. You believe in a spiritual realm. Let me make definition of God. I think God. Let me give you the when you look at the full meaning of God is God can be defined as a supreme spirit whom alone exists of himself, and he is infinite in all perfection. Am I right?
I guess that's your definition. You can yeah, but I feel like you're not answering the question. I know I'm trying to let you speak, but I feel like okay. Okay. Yeah,
I'm
continue.
coming to that. Yes,
Continue.
and then what we mean by Trinity is that I know you make mention that God said is one,
hmm
and why will He said is three in one?
Why would he be so clear to say that it's
That's where the
one and there
confusion
will
is,
never
right?
be
So,
any other? Yeah, I can hear you.
okay, what we mean by Trinity, God the Father and God the Son and God the Holy Spirit, right? God the Father definitely is the maker of heaven and earth, and that's the God. And why we said God the Son, which means as appearing His own form through Jesus Christ to the earth, because Jesus Christ was born without any form of male and female reproduction stuff. Let's say maybe the sex before any pregnancy, all the process, at least only pregnancy and the birth of Jesus Christ. And what we mean by the Holy Spirit is that after Jesus Christ have ascended to heaven, He only leave one thing in us, which is the heart. Am I right? The heart sometimes will tell you the good thing, the bad thing, and the wrong thing. Will tell you all the good, and the bad, and the ugly, in which you're going to do in everyday activities. Your conscience will be the one to tell you that. And that's the Holy Spirit He left with us. So that's the meaning of God the Father and God the Son and God the Holy Spirit.
But you're not answering the question. The question was, why would the Old Testament be so specific? Again, it's not a lot. It's 5 books. I'm talking about like the only the Torah part. It's 5 books that covers thousands of years. Why would it waste space with God saying, I am one, I will always be one, and there will never be any other, if in fact there are 3 parts to it?
Hey, Boz, redirect your question.
There,
That's how you get an answer.
What?
there's
Redirect.
nothing.
Redirect. Sorry.
Yeah, no, continue because I have a hard time making people focus on the questions. So if you have
So,
a better way to
Prudent, before
format
I get
that.
started,
God,
just understand that I'm not coming at you or anything. I have no idea anything about the religion you guys are talking about. So I'm just
yeah.
asking you generalized questions here, okay?
Hello, Kyle.
Yes.
So, Prudent, what is the
I
biblical text
understand.
you follow in your religion? Like, what Bible or what books, any literature that is there, religion-wise. What is there for you?
Let me just answer. I didn't get your question. What book or what religion or what doctrine? I don't really know. I didn't really get your question.
Anything. So, like, with baptism, for example, we're going to follow the Holy Bible. I don't know what your religion is. I don't even know what religion we're talking about, to be honest with you guys, which is why I'm asking, what biblical text are you following with your religion?
I'm a Christian.
Okay, so you follow the Holy Bible as well?
Yeah.
Okay. So, who made the Holy Bible? The original, the OG?
It was an inspiration given by God through His disciples, choosing disciples in the Bible.
Okay. Now, what language was
Yes.
that written in originally?
Hebrew. I think it's 3 languages.
Latin.
Wait, the Old Testament or the New
Yes.
Testament are you talking about?
We're still on the OG, so I'm
I'm
assuming
talking
the
the
Old
Old
Testament.
Testament. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
The
I mean,
OT,
it was
yes.
only written in Hebrew as far as I know, but okay.
Yeah, I heard it was only written in Latin,
Yes.
so I mean, I could be wrong. Oh shit, I could just turn on my computer and look. But that
In
takes time.
Latin. The Old Testament was not written in Latin, it was
So what
written in
about your
Hebrew.
question then?
No, what I'm asking is it true or not that the Bible has been translated over the years into modern day words or more modern day words?
But it doesn't make any difference. The
No, it
more you
does.
read it,
You'll
just
see.
different
It's just a
version.
question.
It doesn't make any difference.
No, that's not what I'm asking. I'm just asking a question.
I said it doesn't make any difference with the old ones.
It does make a difference. So if
Yeah,
I
no
take the
difference.
Bible,
It
and
was
rewrite it
written
into my
in
own words
modern,
right now. You're
maybe
telling me
based
that
on
makes no
English
difference.
from the old King James Version.
But I'm saying, has there been a translation of any biblical text that you follow ever? That's all I'm getting at here.
Protestant.
Huh?
Hello. Protestant church.
That doesn't answer the question.
Hello.
Yeah,
We can hear
Protestant
you.
church doesn't answer the question.
You mean about the doctrine? We know we have Protestant and Orthodox and
No.
Methodist.
Keep
That's
it
not the
simple, bro.
question he asked, though.
We don't have to delve off on other subsections of this. Let's just keep it real plain and simple here. Has the main biblical text structure of Christianity ever been rewritten? Simply yes or no.
Yes.
Okay.
But
The
that
original.
doesn't differ from
Hang
the
on. Just hang
original
on.
meaning or original.
I get you feel strongly. This is your religion. I understand, but you got to let me get my point across. Okay? I respect your religion, homie. I've got nothing against it, all right? This is just how I see things and why I don't follow suit as you do. So, with that being said, the original text was in a dead language, basically meaning that either very few or nobody spoke that language anymore. So the original text got translated into something a little bit more common. You know, still obviously I'd consider it more Old English to what it is these days. You know, here hath now thou with. We're over here speaking Shakespearean every time I've looked at the Bible. But with it being translated, you can't tell me that somebody had a dream or, you know, was talking one-on-one with God on how to rewrite that Bible. Current day in modern society, religion is used as a pawn in a bigger game. It is used to keep us divided, just like race, just like wages, just like sexuality, etc., etc. So I respect beliefs on everybody's religions, but I do not believe that any of them are anywhere nearly as accurate as they were thousands of years ago.
Wait, but Kyle, this is not. That's a whole new topic, though. I'm trying to
Did I
stay
miss?
somewhat.
Did I miss the main topic here? Hold up. Did I miss something?
Yeah, because what I was talking about is in the Old Testament, right? It very clearly says God is one, God will always be one, and there will never be any other. So the subject I was touching on was how could people who believe in the Old Testament also say that the Trinity is real? Because why would God so specifically take out time? Again, I don't believe in the Old Testament or anything like that, but if people who do believe in the Old Testament, why would God take out time to say, I am one, I will always be one, and there will never be any other? Why would he say something so opposite of the Trinity if it's real and if it would be revealed later? Like, why would
I
he
can't have a
say
say
something
on that because I
opposite?
know jack squat about it. So
Yeah, so that's why I'm asking Prudent, because he believes in the Trinity, but like the question is why wouldn't he just leave that out? You know what I mean? Why would he be so specific in saying that?
sure.
Prudent?
Yeah, I'm all yours.
Yeah, so
When it
that's
comes to
the question.
I made an explanation regarding the Trinity. You get it's a
No,
simple,
but that
clear
didn't
something.
answer the question though. The
If God,
question is
if God, yeah, no,
yeah,
I'm going straight to it.
sure.
God says, you remember, I'm only one. There is no any other God apart from me. Am I right? That was in the Old Testament during Moses. During Moses, right? That's where the
I am
confusion
one
was.
and I will always be one. Yes.
Always be one. Yeah, that was during Moses. So when he spoke that, definitely people, you remember, even the people of Israel are doubting it. You get, or they start worshiping idols and other things. You get, so they are just too confused, thinking that who is this God? And definitely for him to unveil himself he needs to bring a way for him to prove to them that yes, he is God. And this other way, he needs to bring a son. Not that he has a wife, not that he doesn't have, but he have power to do things by mere words. When he said, "Let this come in place," it will happen. And that's why he gave birth. Jesus Christ came to this world through what? He came to the world through Mary without any sexual intercourse for him to be put to bed. So coming of Jesus Christ, that's why they just call him, he is the Son of God. That's the meaning. And when after Jesus Christ have and Jesus Christ said, "How I will come with a comforter. I will leave you off with a comforter who will comfort you and teach you my own ways," in the Bible. So that is the Holy Spirit. He said, "I will send down a Holy Spirit who will guide you and teach you on what to do." And that is the Holy Spirit. So that
But
is why we
again,
said
it's
God the
not
Father,
answering the
God the Son,
question. The
God the
question
Holy
is,
Spirit.
why would it so specifically say the opposite in the Old Testament?
Well,
Why wouldn't
before
it just go over
y'all
that and
carry
not?
on, I'm gonna go ahead and say my goodbyes because I've got Christmas shopping to do, and
Oh,
I don't know how to shop for girls, so I'm gonna be a while. So y'all have
ooh.
fun.
Okay. Have a great day. Enjoy.
Okay, Kyle.
Enjoy.
Bye,
Have a
quick.
nice
Any
day.
stocking stuffers for girls? Go fast.
Do bath bombs and stuff. I don't know what your girlfriend's into, but for me personally, bath bombs are the best.
She did
So
mention bath bombs like very
there
subtly the
you
other day.
go.
All right,
There
cool.
you go. Try to
I'll
get
fill
some
up the
bath
whole
bombs.
stocking with bath bombs.
All right, Kyle. Have a nice
Have a good
day.
night.
Take good care of
have,
yourself.
You too, Prudence.
have
Yeah,
a
good
great
night.
Bye,
day,
Kyle.
Kyle. Enjoy. Bye.
You can't go wrong.
Yeah,
You
bye.
can't go wrong with bath bombs. That's it's very
You
easy.
really
Hi,
can't.
Ray.
Christmas presents for my family is just toiletries. Yeah, little makeup bags and deodorant and whatever. It's easy.
Yeah, no, yeah, I think for me, what I've done with my family is also basically like my sister, also
Hello.
basically
Are you
like
there?
candles, bath bombs, massages, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we can hear you, Prudent.
Yeah, we can hear you, Prudent. Hey, Prudent, how are you?
Yeah,
Hello.
I'm good. Ray, how are you? How is everything?
I am good, buddy. I'm good.
I can hear
All
you.
good. I enjoyed a very, very nice kebab.
How is Christmas present?
Yeah.
Wow. Chicken kebab or beef kebab?
Iron Shark is a nice way to say to people to wash themselves.
Ah,
Nah.
kind of true. For some people, depends on the person.
Yeah. Well, I just said to my daughter because I got the best body spray and deodorant. It's David Beckham. He put his name to it. International soccer player, and so
Wow.
he has a deodorant and it smells beautiful. I mean, I could fancy myself wearing that deodorant. I mean, really, it's it's very nice smelling. So I just said, buy me that, and that's all you have to do.
Yeah. Oh, is it an expensive deodorant or?
No, you can buy in
Yeah.
Superdrug and all these things for about I don't know the conversion rate, but it's it's not bad. It's not overly expensive considering that he's put his name to it.
Oh, I bought you this perfume, but not because you smell bad.
Yeah.
Although
Wow.
people go wrong with buying me perfume. Like I'm a very fruity person. So like if it's I would only wear something if it's like fruity or
Right.
stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, whenever people try to get these other smelling ones, I gag. But it's interesting
Depends.
though. That people don't answer the question. But yeah. So what else was I gonna? There were
You're
a few
back.
topics I was actually gonna bring up. Oh, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm gonna make videos on them, but you want to hear the list I have?
Yeah.
Okay. So One is, oh, this isn't the notebook.
Yeah, perfect.
One is the orders that you had to stack the books in. When you were in school and you had to put the Chumash on top and then the Navi on the bottom and then the you know that order? Like, I don't remember the full order. And the sitter has to be underneath that.
Ah, okay, that's different.
Books in the order of holiness.
Yeah, no, that's different.
What do you mean?
Yeah, well, we always had the siddur on top and the Chumash underneath.
The siddur on top. You're right.
Yeah.
I missed that. The siddur on top. Yes.
But we had in the yeshiva, the main yeshiva I studied in, we all had boxes like how'd you call them in school? Pigeonholes.
Lockers.
Pigeonholes them, yeah, and but they were all open. They were kind of like open shelves with their names on them.
Oh,
and then
cubby holes. Okay.
Yeah, with cubby holes, and we had all our sforim in them. So then we would know obviously what we were doing, what we would take, but it would be the Chumash on the bottom, the Mishnah on top, and the Siddur on top of that. If that was it, because we always had to sit in the Siddur on our table anyway.
Interesting. So I do remember the siddur on top. Now that you're saying that, I do remember that. But for us, it was like Chumash and then Navi. And I don't remember what other books there were. But yeah, I have to look it up again. It's been so long. But it's interesting that you remember that, because I have I don't remember the exact order.
Yeah, it was drummed into us. It was just one of these things in life that you kind of remember because it was just part of a routine that was just hammered into you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then the next one was, one second. Oh, the whole idea of college classes, birth control, and stuff like that. And then the other idea is you're not supposed to shop for rabbis, but also you're not supposed to follow your rabbi blindly. Like, how does that work out? I always wondered.
Well, there you've kind of summed up the existence of the Chabad movement until the Rebbe passed. Yeah, because they did that exact thing. They followed them. Well, I suppose they would kind of argue to say that they didn't follow the Rebbe blindly, but they wanted to buy him gifts. They wanted to buy him a new car. He refused. There was so much money they would have thrown at the Rebbe, and the Rebbe could have had whatever he wanted.
Right, but he refused to.
He refused, yeah, and in the end, he didn't own a very big house. He was very modest, and in the end, he ended up spending most of his time after Chanamushka, his wife, Zichron Livracha, passed away. He spent all of his time in the yeshiva itself, in the upstairs.
Interesting.
So, yeah. As for buying gifts, I don't know. I mean, is that like if the rabbi isn't your uncle?
Not shop for rabbis. I mean, you're not supposed to shop around. That means like if you don't.
Okay, that's English.
Yeah, if you don't agree with what your rabbi is telling you to do, you're not supposed to go get a different opinion. You're supposed to listen to him. However, you're also not supposed to follow your rabbi blindly. So to me, that seems like a contradiction.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I suppose in closed Prudence gone. In more closed communities that option wouldn't be open. They don't have that option to shop around for rabbis because there is the rabbi in the yeshiva that you like the Rosh Kollel that you would ask, and you wouldn't really question that. In a more open society of, I say, modern Orthodox, it's an interesting thing. Unless the rabbi himself would say, look, I don't really know the answer to that. I'm not sure. It's a good shaila. Let me go off and study. But if you want to ask someone else, ask someone else.
No, but I'm talking about like, and then I'll get to the new guy, Gradient Mesh. But I'm
Yeah.
talking about, let's say the idea came up was, let's say my mom asked first one rabbi to
Yeah.
sit shiva for me. He told
Yeah.
her no, so she went to go get a different. She went around until she got a rabbi to agree with her.
Yeah.
So
That's
that
wrong.
to me, you're not supposed to shop around
No,
for
no.
rabbis, but also there's the whole idea of you're not supposed to follow your rabbi blindly. So it seems like a contradiction to me. Oh shoot, I was about to go to Gradient Mesh. Oh well.
We might come
Um,
back up again.
yeah.
And both man-made and probably the purpose
We are
changed
diverting
sometimes
from the
also in the
primary discussion.
Sorry, what did you say, Prudent?
No, I said, I don't know whether we're changing topic.
Oh yeah, sorry, we slightly changed the topic, but we can
Yeah,
go
we
back
went
to
off.
that other
We're
topic.
just going through the list of things. So, in answer to your question before we close this, is that
Yeah.
you're totally right. It's not. You can't. I don't think it's acceptable, really, to shop around for the right answer that you're looking for. I don't think that's right. But if you're following your rabbi blindly, I also think that that's wrong.
Hi, Ray.
Right. So then
Can
the
I ask you a
question
question?
is, where do you get your where is the balance? Is there balance? Is it just a contradiction?
Yeah, I think it's a contradiction.
Yeah.
Hi, Ray.
Sorry,
Can I ask
Prudent.
you a question?
Of course.
Ray, do you believe in the creator? Maybe, I don't know what your rabbi told you. I don't know. Do you believe there's a creator?
Well, I'm not practicing any religion anymore, Prudent, but I do
know.
believe.
I understand.
Yeah, I do believe in a
I
creator. Yes.
Yes, you believe there's a creator.
Of some description or other, yes. How the creator manifests itself, I believe that that there was a creator of the world, of the things that we see, that we live and we breathe, but how that
Yeah.
also ties in with the evolution and things like that. Yes, I believe that there is some person like some entity like that.
Yeah, because there are some questions going on, you get it. One thing I believe, if without you believing in a creator, definitely there could have not been an old age, and there could have not have a death. Death could have not been in existence. So nobody could have died. We could have found cure to death.
Huh?
So definitely,
Wait.
I said if there is no creator, there could have
Yeah.
been a cure for death. So
I
no
mean,
one
there
could
still
die
might
anymore.
be at some point. We don't know.
That's why. So that is the main conviction that you just have to get it through your mind, that definitely there is a creator somewhere.
I disagree with you because like that doesn't make sense. That argument doesn't make sense because there isn't a cure for cancer yet.
Yeah.
There might be later on. Let's say there's a cure for strep. Strep used to kill people, but strep throat, and now there's a cure for it. So to say that, so we see how science progresses. To say that there will never, ever, ever be a cure for death, or that somehow people won't figure out how to transfer their minds to computers so they could be immortal or something like that. Like, I think that's a very
that one has been in existence, at least through digital world. I know people have been creating robots and other things. They transfer mind and memory and other things to maybe some robots. In China, I know that in China and America, and I think most of the heavy works happens there. So robot happens to be the heavy duties, the heavy works. So it's there, but I'm talking about dead. But it's not gonna work like normal creator of a human being.
But how
Let's
do you
say
know
you
it
grow
won't
up,
work
you
in
can
the
choose.
future? How do
Yes,
you know
working
that
in
it
the
won't be
future,
possible in the future?
it cannot be possible
How do you
except
know?
transfer of mind. It's not gonna be possible. because it's been there for 1,000 years. Probably, whatever happens, anything happening now in a digital world has been there on a primitive way already. There's a trial already on it from the start.
Is it
We
possible to
remember
join through
before.
Discord? 1 second. Give me 30 seconds, Iron Shark.
Okay.
That's my thing though. Like, you don't know if it's possible. Give me 1 second. We're gonna try to figure out how to allow Iron Shark to join while seeing the thing. So give me 30 seconds to just try to figure that out. And I'll tell you when it's ready, Iron Shark. But I think that there's a possibility that it might be possible in the future. Like, we don't know.
To cure
The fact
you
is,
mean
how
to
would
get a cure?
yeah?
Except transferring of mind to a digital or to a robot. Somebody can transfer your mindset, your behavior to a computer. That one is a normal thing. But getting
Yeah,
you fit,
but they might
you
figure
get
it out in the future. What I'm
Yeah,
saying
I
is they
believe they
might.
will. You're
Just
it's
right.
not
because it's not
Hey,
possible now, it doesn't mean it
it's
will
not
never be possible.
yeah, who knows?
it it will
Nobody actually knew that they would come up with the combo drugs to almost eradicate HIV/AIDS. Well, not eradicate, but in the 1980s it was a death sentence. That was it. You were dead. There was no cure. Now we're at a stage where
yeah.
there's people that will live a full life
Hello,
all
everybody.
the way to the end of a normal
Yes, you
life,
know.
living with HIV or AIDS. So we don't know what's going to be possible in the future. Nobody thought that we would be holding in our hands and talking as we are now on systems that are actually much more intelligent and much more capable than the computers that sent the first man to the moon. Who would have thought that?
I
1969. It was wall-to-wall computers. Nobody thought that we're now holding a computer in our hand
what
that
I
can
mean what
control
I mean
pretty
by
much
that is that
everything. So I wouldn't rule it out, Prudent. I think everything is possible. And I think, the Chinese will be probably the Japanese, but the Chinese, I know that are working very hard. It's also possible right now to move objects, I think, by using brainwaves. I think I did see that happen, where you concentrate on something moving, and you're all wired up to all these devices. So yeah, I wouldn't rule it out, Prudent. I think, but as for God, that's not the God that I believe in. By the way, the God I believe in is a creator of the heavens and the earth. Whereas
Yeah.
the involvement towards life or death of an individual is up to us. It's up to us to look after the planet, and it's up to us to discover. So that's why scientists discover. That's what I believe in. I don't think that God is responsible for every single thing and every single
hello, are you
action.
there?
Yeah.
Well,
Somebody was trying to talk. Hey,
yeah,
how are
Chris.
you?
I think couldn't, but Chris is in, so I'll go into mute and let Chris talk.
The
Hey, Chris.
network is not clear.
That's gentlemanly of you. Thank you guys, man. I appreciate you guys. You didn't have to stop. Thanks for having me in, Faye. Good to see you again. I don't know if you remember me, but
Yeah, I do. How are you?
doing all right. I have a quick take. So when you say believing any one religion is 100% true is closed-minded, right? The question I would kind of pose is, I don't know if I believe a religion is 100% true, but I do believe Jesus was 100% correct himself. Christ, the person, and what he taught would have been infallible. Like I don't have the option to believe he was 99% correct. I have to, in order for that to.
Why do you have to believe? Sorry, give me 30 seconds. Why do you have to believe that he was 100% correct? Why is that you have to believe that?
Well, it's either he was that or he is irrelevant. Like, so for the
or maybe like we've discussed. I don't know if you were on here when we discussed this before. Sorry, I'm trying to not get too distracted because
Hello.
I'm trying to add Iron Shark in, but I don't know if you were on here when we discussed it before, but like my sister has some premonitions sometimes about stuff and they end up coming true, and not like self-fulfilling prophecy type things, like things that impact other people's lives and they end up coming true. It doesn't mean, if she would go and have a God complex and start saying that she has a whole thing, it doesn't mean that everything she's saying is false. It doesn't mean that everything she's saying is true. She's human. Some of her things could be right, some of them can be wrong.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be one or the other.
Your sister, like, that's the distinguishment between a regular human being and Jesus Christ, though. That's the distinguishing factor, is we have the capacity for error, but he had no capacity for error. That would be the difference between your sister and the Lord.
Can I ask you a question, Chris?
That's why he's unique in his nature. And yeah, you asked me a question. Let me say one thing real quick. I mean, if we open the door that, well, this was just another regular human and he may have been incorrect about some things, then it's like, well, then we have nothing, like, we don't know what he's correct or about and what he's not correct and about. And the whole thing falls at that point, which I can respect how a non-believer would make that take. But as a believer, he is literally infallible. It's the basis for the religion. And it doesn't mean that all other faiths are all infallible, but we do solely, attribute him to be perfection in human form.
Interesting. 1 second before we continue. Sorry, Iron Shark, do you mind trying now and letting me know if it's working? Sorry. Now, Zeno, you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you.
Whoa. Sorry, I'm realizing. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to make this not work. How to make it work without hearing double. Cool. Okay. Let's see if this is working. Okay. How are we gonna do this? Let me see. Sorry, give me 30 seconds, and then Zeno, you could talk. Okay, 1 second. Sorry, I just want to test it out. Okay, Iron Shark, are you here?
Yeah, I'm in Discord. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you. Guys, can you hear him?
Yeah, we can hear
He
him.
was breaking up.
Yeah, sort of.
But not too clear.
Not too clear. Try to speak one more time.
Yeah. Also, I cannot hear clearly the guys from the live. It doesn't matter if it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Oh, okay.
Still work in progress.
Yeah, it's still work in progress. Okay, sorry. It's not working now. I'll probably do like a live through YouTube with like where I'm going live on my computer instead of on my phone, because that'll work better. Okay, I'll let you know when it's working though. Sorry about that.
Lovely.
Okay.
Thank you.
Take care. I'll see you. Okay, so let's go back. We'll see him in the chat, I guess, which it sucks that he can't be on here because I'd love to hear his take on things. Okay, so
go ahead to talk.
Yeah, Zeno wanted to say something.
Yeah, I wanted to ask Chris, because he said he 100% believes in the figure of Christ, and him being, what was the word he used?
Infallible.
Infallible. So my question is this. Obviously, you didn't actually see Jesus walking around doing these things and saying the things that he allegedly did. So really, is it not fair to say that you're just trusting what the Bible says about a figure named Jesus?
No,
Hello, Chris. Let me answer him. Hello,
Wait,
Zeno. Can I ask you a
let
question?
him
I was, I
answer.
was. Can
Sorry,
you
let
answer after?
let
Because I
Chris
wanted to
answer
hear
first,
Chris's
and
take.
then yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So it's based on, it's not just the Bible. It's not solely building a view of Christ solely based on the Bible. It's using the Bible as a guide, going out in life and testing the principles, praying to God directly, and then having personal experiences that either validate or disvalidate the perspective of who Jesus Christ is. And for me personally, the experience I have personally had validates what the text is saying. Does that make sense? So I'm not just looking at the text and going, okay, the text says so, and because the text says so, it's true. There's a process for determining whether what's in the text is true, and that's personal experience when we apply these things to life and we see what happens.
But isn't that true with any
I
religion? I guess. Oh,
I
sorry.
think so.
Continue, Zeno.
No, I get what you're saying, Chris, but I'm talking about specifically the fact that Jesus is God and that he did these miracles. Without the Bible, you could not have known that. You would not have known that Jesus is God unless the Bible told you that. You can believe in God outside of the Bible. I mean, there's Muslims and there's Jews and there's all sorts of people that believe in God, the Creator, whatever. But I'm saying
Yeah.
specifically the figure of Jesus and who he claimed to be according to the New Testament and the things that he did. You would not have known that outside of the New Testament at all.
So apart from the written New Testament, it is possible that we could have had just an oral tradition, and I would still have like an idea of these concepts
Okay.
communicated to me. That's not the situation we have. I mean, we have the written
Um,
account.
Zeno, can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
This is prudent. Do you believe in history at all? And before
Do I
then,
believe in
what religion
history?
do you believe in history?
I believe in
History.
And
verified history, yes.
yes, and you know, when it comes, the Bible is not just an history. You know, history can be real. It can be, a fabricated something. It can be, let's say, a narrative, uh, written or essay, something like that. But what I believe about the Bible is not about what they said. If there are thousands and millions proofs all over, even the Quran make mention of Jesus, not even the Bible. Talk more of the Bible itself. And the full question regarding I didn't just become a Christian because I want to be the Christian. I need to make my own research to find out what would truly allow me to be there. It's not about being a Christian. There's a difference between being a Christian and then being a believer. You guess you can be a Christian, but probably you might not know the real fact inside. Yes, you might not know the real Jesus itself. Let me go back to the first topic that the host asked us. Am I right? Faye, are you there?
I'm here. I mean, I want to address the comments. You
Okay,
can
she
first
said
address.
something.
Yeah. Go on.
She said God said there is no any other God apart from me. I'm the only God, only one God. And then she's now confused. What happened in the New Testament that there is a Trinity? Probably Chris will understand that. Do you understand? So is God divided into three? That's her question. Maybe I throw more light. Probably she didn't understand. I think that is the
Are you
main
saying
topic
that
today.
33% God is Jesus when you say divided in three? Because I know that's modalism. Are you a modalist? Do you think that Jesus is
No,
33% of God, the Father is
I'm
33%
a
of God, and
Christian.
okay,
She
so
was
then don't
asking a
say divide
question.
by three because
No,
you confuse me a
I
little
am
bit.
not. I'm not the one. No, according to what she said, that's what I'm saying. I'm
Okay.
just want you to throw
That's
more light
not.
to what I said already. Yes, she said, God said, is just God. I'm just God alone. So worship only me. I'm the only God. No any other God. Then why God refer that to himself and later there is a Trinity? Chris.
Sorry, I didn't hear that question.
It's the question I asked
Faye, can
yesterday
you just
about the
make it clear?
Trinity. It's the question I asked yesterday about the Trinity. Why, if there is a Trinity, why would in the Old Testament God would be so clear to say the opposite of the Trinity? Basically, that there is only one God, there will never be any other, and stuff like that. It's the question I asked yesterday. Sorry, continue, Prudent.
Chris, you get the question now.
Well, we always believe the Trinity is one God. It's always one God. We only worship one God. There is one sovereign Lord. The Lord
But
is
if there
one.
are three parts to the God, why would he make sure to say that there is only me and there is no other and I will always be one? Like, why would he, if you believe in the Old Testament, why would the Old Testament clearly waste words to say, I am one, I will always be one, if in fact these three? He could have just left that sentence out of the Old Testament and then the Trinity would make sense.
Well, it's important that it is one because it is one, and it's not three parts. It's three revealing of personality. It's three ways of revealing the one
himself.
It's always the one. And the Trinity, it's not like we can't think of it as like three slices of something or three different things. It's literally an infinite God revealing himself in these
But then wouldn't he have infinite personalities or infinite ways of, like, why did y'all choose three?
Well, within the three,
the meaning of that three, it just like, I think it just it's not even I think it just, let me give you an instance. It's just like a family. A family, there's a father, there's a mother, there's a children, but the all combination you call it family. You get that? And
again, we're not talking about humans. Apparently, we're talking about a divine thing. So again, where did you get the three from? Like, to me, you could have gone five, and you would have the same explanation. Like, the three doesn't make sense to me. Like, where did y'all get that from?
Okay, God. Do you believe God is a spirit?
I mean, I don't believe in God, so you ask somebody else who does
Okay,
believe
get
in
that.
God.
I understand. Okay, God revealed himself in three forms. One, God the Father. Why he was called God the Father? Because he created the heaven and the earth and everything under the heaven, above the heaven. He was the maker of them all. He was the
So is
Father.
the other parts of him a woman? And okay, sorry, continue.
Yes, so that is why it was called. That's why they call him God the Father and God the Son. He revealed himself through Jesus Christ, and Jesus Christ happens to be the Son. And being the Holy Spirit is that when Jesus Christ left.
That's not the question she's asking you,
You're
Prudence.
not answering
That's not
the
the question.
There you
Why
see,
did he said he is God?
like
I
Zeno,
get
with
you.
all due respect, you're not answering the question.
No, I you said why did he said, why did he stated it clearly and said there is all, as in he's the only one
She
God.
means in the Old Testament, why wouldn't God have given the indication of a Trinity while he actually does the opposite and says that God is one and there is no other and he doesn't, and he's vehemently one. What the New Testament
There
then
is no
comes in and it gives this
deviation there.
idea of the Trinity. So she's asking, why would the Old Testament, close it off so strongly? That's what she's asking.
Can I answer that?
God never.
Sure.
I'm
Let
always
Chris answer it. Yeah.
Ray or Zeno.
It was Chris who wanted to answer that. Yeah, Chris.
It's important to remember that the one still stands, though he's not contradicting himself in any way. But when we get the New Testament, we're getting further revelation, further information about the nature of God. So, I mean, in a way, it's like you could be asking the question, like, why doesn't God reveal all, like, why do we even need a New Testament? Why have a Jesus? Why have further revelation and get more information about the nature of who God is? And it's like, well, he reveals himself in stages to humanity. I mean, even with like Islam and having Muhammad come, it's like, well, why doesn't Allah just tell everybody all of that from the beginning? And it's like there's a process of like giving information to humanity.
But the problem with that, Chris, is in the Old Testament, God says in Malachi, I, the Lord, do not change. So if God is
He
saying,
didn't.
I, the Lord, do not change, and then he changed, he's kind of once again going against himself. That's
That's
different to
where,
sending another prophet.
yeah, but that's where we have a disconnect, is because he's not changing at all. He's only revealing more about his character. He is one.
No, but
That
he changed
one,
from spirit to flesh. Did he not?
no, God is never flesh. He's in the
But
flesh,
John 1
but
says the
he's
word
not
became
flesh.
flesh.
Yeah, he's in the flesh.
But John 1 literally says the word became flesh and the word is God.
John 1?
Yes, John 1 says, in the beginning was the word and the word was with God and the word was God. And then it says the word became flesh.
Yeah. That's what Juju says as well. So that's what she believes. It's fun.
I don't see, I mean, I have John 1, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was with God in the beginning, John 1. So what verse is it that he says he became flesh? 14. The Word,
114. 114.
yeah, the Word became flesh and made his dwelling among us.
Exactly. So
Yeah, I
God
don't
did
know.
change to flesh.
No, because we believe in a dual nature of
But in
Christ,
Malachi, God
right?
says that he doesn't change. This is kind of the contradiction that Faye is talking about, that the New Testament completely goes against the nature of the... If God just left it up for interpretation and he doesn't say stuff like, I, the Lord, do not change, or in Hosea 11:9, God says, I am not a man, for I am God, not a man. If God left these verses out of there, then it would
Mm-hmm.
make sense for Christians to say, no, this is God revealing himself more. But the fact that he closed it off in the Old Testament, and here comes the New Testament, completely going against it, there seems to be a bit of a problem.
Yeah, I mean, I agree that there's stuff that we have to work through here. I mean, I agree there's things that on the I mean, the Trinity on its surface is a complex and mysterious concept. I mean, that's why we have like small sections of libraries dedicated to just the concept of the Trinity itself. And there's been a ton of discourse even within Christianity about how do we break down this like really like mystical, conceptual, framework for God's nature. I don't have I would say this. I don't believe God is flesh. I believe he's in the flesh. Like, so let me ask you this. Is it correct in Islam that you guys have a saying that God is closer to you than your juggler? Is this correct?
Yeah, but that's a metaphorical verse, meaning in terms of his knowledge and his mercy that he's closer to you. It doesn't mean that he's actually in our jugular vein.
So, well, I don't mean in the jugular vein, but I mean, is that not literal with actual location? Like,
No,
is
it's
he
not,
not?
because God says, no, because God actually tells us his location in the Quran. He says that he is above his creation. So no,
Yeah, but
that verse is well
that's
known to
not
be metaphorical.
location. That's not literal to location either, though. That's also a metaphor, meaning
No,
he's
but
above our nature.
no, he says that he is above. God is above his creation. That's what the Quran says. So the verse about the jugular vein means that he is close to us in his knowledge and his wisdom. That's how every Muslim understands it.
Okay, but when you're saying above, does that like are you referring to like the sky?
I'm
Like the
saying above
heavens
his
and so forth.
creation.
Okay, but when you say above, is that a referral to location as the word like the
Yes,
preposition
his
usually
physical
means?
location. God is above his creation.
Okay, so do you like does that mean God is off the earth and like through outer space and like above that?
Well, he is above his creation. So everything that you can classify as creation, he is above it.
So he's on top of it. I guess I'm saying like if we send a rocket up
He's
in the
on
air,
top,
does that
like on
eventually go
top.
to?
Yeah, if you send a rocket up there, you're not gonna find God. Let's just say that.
Is that the direction of God?
Sorry?
Is that's not the direction. God
Yeah,
Is
is
that the
everywhere.
direction? Because he's above. That's what he's asking, I think.
yeah,
Yeah, God
yeah.
is above his creation. God is not restricted by time and space, but he's above his creation. It wouldn't make
So
sense for
then I
God
guess,
to
yeah.
be in his
which
creation.
mean which mean he is on top, watching, which mean all his creation are below.
Okay,
Mm.
but so what was the point of the question? Because I feel like you were trying to make a point.
Yeah, well, I mean, first of all, you're saying that it's metaphorical that he's closer to
Yeah,
you than
you can
like
ask any
Arthur ends up
Muslim on planet Earth. That's a metaphorical verse.
that's fine. But I mean, I can do the same thing when we say the word became flesh. I mean, it's there's
No, but you think
still
it.
like
You take it literally, don't you? Because Jesus was with God, right? So you do take it literally.
we take Jesus literally being God, but we also take him as literally being man, right? And so we
So then
have
he
That
was
this.
flesh.
doesn't make the word becoming flesh metaphorical. Every Christian I know believes that to be literal.
Is this Zeno talking?
Yeah, it's
Um,
me.
yeah. Again, though, you're like
You
it's
said the word become flesh or what? I didn't get you, Zeno.
Yeah, John 1:14 says the word became flesh. Do you agree with that, Prudence?
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. The
but what
word
does it
became
mean?
flesh. He
But
was that the meaning of that chapter is strictly that verse is strictly talking about Jesus Christ. You get
Yeah, I agree with you.
Jesus
So you
Christ
take it literally,
in the
right?
Quran. Yes, in Surah Maryam and Surah Al Imran in the Quran. I'm a Christian, you get, but I read the Quran very well. The Quran also make mention that they gave birth to Jesus Christ just the same way without any man descent. There is no sex, there is no marriage, there is no sex between before they give birth to Jesus Christ. Am I right? In the Quran.
Yes.
Surah
Yeah, it
Al-Maryam
was
and
an
Surah
immaculate
Al-Imran.
conception. We
Am I
agree with
right?
that. Yeah, we
Yeah,
agree with
yes,
the
you agree with
immaculate
that.
conception.
Yes, but the same Quran still stated that for
Sorry,
Maryam will bore a son.
you sound very muffled.
Can you hear me? You said?
yeah, he does
Yeah,
some
sorry, repeat what
prudent.
you said.
You are kind of. Is there a way you can get clearer, prudent? Is there a way you can
Yes, I'm
sound
making
a
use
bit?
of earpiece, mouthpiece. Yes, I'm using an earpiece, so maybe I get closer to my mouth so that
Oh,
there's no
okay.
clear. So what I said is that in the Quran, I think it's not
What?
even I think in Surah Al-Maryam. In Surah Al-Maryam, you get there is a place they give birth to Jesus Christ without any descent. So in that John that you're talking about, he's strictly saying that Jesus Christ is was with
Brother, I
God,
can't hear you at
and
all now. You sound very far away.
what about now? Can you hear me clearly now?
A little better. Yeah, go on.
You said the word became flesh. The word was with God, and the word is God, and the word was with God, and the word became flesh. That word is speaking
I'm
about Jesus
really
Christ. Is
struggling
God
here.
Himself. Is God coming? Is God is now revealing Himself in a flesh
Am I
form
the only one who
through
can't hear him?
Jesus.
No,
Yeah, I
I'm
can
also
hear.
struggling to hear. I'm really struggling to hear.
Yeah.
Wow. So,
Well, so
what about now?
how do
Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, I can hear
Okay.
you better now.
Okay, I said the word is God, and the word was with God, and the word became flesh, right? And then that
Yes.
statement means that Jesus Christ, God revealed Himself through Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ was the flesh in God's form. You get that?
Okay, I agree with you. It's Chris you need to tell this, not me.
Yes.
Okay.
Even
no?
in the
So
in yeah, okay, let me ask you two questions. You know that even the Quran itself make more reference to Jesus Christ than Muhammad itself.
Am I right?
100%. He's the most mentioned figure in the Quran.
Yes, because I think Jesus Christ's names appear almost 66 times in the Quran, while Muhammad I think
Actually,
is
it's
around 5
140 times, but go
to
on.
6.
He's mentioned 25
Yes,
times
if
by
I
name and a further 100 times, but with other names. So I don't know where you got 66 from, but go on.
yeah. Okay. So now that's what I'm saying. I said it make more reference because I know Jesus Christ has 2 chapters in the Quran. That's Surah Al-Maryam and Al-Imran and
What are
Imran. Al-Imran.
sorry.
Yeah, go on.
Sorry if yeah. So God Himself, even in the Quran, Jesus Christ make more things than Muhammad, and is there written. Because at least
Okay.
if I ask you a question now, where is Jesus Christ? The first thing you will tell me is in heaven. Am I right?
Are you asking me as a Muslim?
Yes.
Yeah, God said that
Am I
he
right?
raised him to the heavens.
Yes, He raised him to the heaven. But
Yeah.
the same Quran still make mention that Jesus Christ is a Muslim. But there is no marks
Yes,
by
it
them.
does in several
And
places.
Muhammad happens, yes, they said he's a Muslim. But you and I know that there is no religion except when Muhammad comes. What religion? If you said he's a Muslim or Adam is a Muslim, what was he doing before? What religion is Jesus Christ?
I mean, you
Because
completely
if
misunderstood the. Well, if you let me answer, I'll answer you. You've
uh,
completely understood the meaning, misunderstood
I've
the meaning of
deviated,
Muslim.
I've deviated.
Can I answer the question?
I don't want us to deviate because I have a lot. Maybe if we're gonna stay here, maybe we're gonna stay here till tomorrow.
No,
24
you
hours we're gonna
brought
be
up,
here.
you asked me a question about what was the religion before Muhammad. How can he be called a Muslim? I'm trying to answer it.
Even Muhammad is himself is not a Muslim.
No, but do you know what a
Do you
Muslim
believe that?
means?
Yeah. Submission to the will of
What does it
Allah.
mean?
Those who
Okay, so
submit to the will of
did
Allah.
Jesus submit to the will of God?
What is the meaning of Christianity? Where did we derive the name Christianity from?
Brother, you asked me about the
From
word Muslim. Don't deviate
yes.
now. I'm trying
I
to
feel
show you
like
that
we're
you have
going
no
in
idea what you're talking
circles
about.
right now.
No, Faye, I just want to make this clear because he
No.
made a terrible point. The
Yes.
word Muslim means somebody who submits their will to God. We believe Jesus did that. Even you believe that. Abraham did that. Moses did that. All the prophets did that. Hence, they are Muslim. If you're talking about
Yeah,
Muslim in
yeah.
terms of the way that we
What
understand
makes
it
them? How
today
comes?
as the followers of
Where have
Muhammad,
they
that's
become
different.
Muslim? They are not Muslim,
Sorry?
my brother.
Okay, but
Please.
okay, did Jesus submit his will to God?
If
Yes or
you
no?
said Adam is a Muslim, Noah is a Muslim, tell me where do they build the first mosque in the history? You
What
said?
does that have to do with the definition of Muslim? I'm asking you a question.
Repeat
Did
your
Jesus
question. You said
submit his
pardon?
will
I
to
didn't hear
God?
you.
Brother, are you gonna answer my question?
Yes to God, not Muslim. Different.
Okay,
Just make a
what do you
difference.
mean not Muslim? I'm saying, did he submit
There
his
are
will
two
to
different
God? You
things.
said yes, case closed, nothing else.
Yes, he submit to God, but not Muslim.
What do you mean not Muslim? What does that mean?
Apart from
Brother, you don't,
hello, can you hear me?
I'm an Arabic speaker. I'm telling you, Muslim means somebody who submits their will to
No,
God.
I
That's
get you.
it.
I get where you're heading to.
And this has nothing to do with the original
The
point,
will
by the
of
way.
Allah, not God.
I have no idea where we're at, how we got
Wait, wait, wait,
here,
wait,
or
wait,
anything
wait. Faye,
like
he
that.
just said
Like we're
something really ignorant. Faye, he said something very ignorant. He said, to the will of God, not Allah. If you open up any Christian
No.
Arabic
You
Bible in
don't
the world,
understand
it will
what
say
you're
the word
saying.
Allah every time God is there. So you're going to have to go argue with your Christian brothers in the Arab lands.
yeah,
But now we can go
God
back.
is Allah, but yeah, or
You can argue that Muhammad wasn't a
okay.
prophet, no problem, but don't say not Allah, because
Let me tell you
in
something. There's
Semitic
something you
languages,
didn't know.
because you're clearly not a Semite, in Semitic languages, the words for God is ilaha, iloha, ileha, Allah, Allah, and I'm sure the Jews here can agree with me on that one. So
I don't even know what I'm
Allah
agreeing
education
is
with.
is always good.
Honestly, I've been tuning out. I'm not gonna lie, I've been
Then
tuning
what
out.
about
I don't
Ilah?
even know what I'm agreeing
What
with.
Yeah, no,
about
I
Ilah?
agree with Zeno. He was right in what he
Thank
said.
you.
No, I didn't. Listen, Zeno doesn't understand what I'm trying to say. You get, if he claims that, okay, let's say Muhammad, um, people that came before Muhammad, they are all Muslims. Then where have they seen a sign of, let's say, where have they seen any first mosque in the whole world? You and I knows that Quran came during
What
Muhammad.
have to do
Am I
with
right?
being a
So how
Muslim?
come
No, you're definitely not right. What does that have to do with being a Muslim?
Welcome back, Chris.
a lot,
Thanks.
a lot, a lot? You and I knows that there is difference between being forced to your religion, and there's difference between you discovering why you are into that religion. And there's difference between that submission, and when anything that has to do with submission, you submit without questioning. You don't ask. You don't get more enlightenment for you to just understand. Okay,
With
this
all
is
due respect, I have
maybe.
no idea what you're
Uh,
talking about now. So don't say we both
uh,
know. We don't both know. But shout out to you.
all right, it's okay. You know what? I'm not here to talk about religion because everybody has his own belief and
That
you
was
Okay.
understand.
interesting.
No, everybody have his own sentiment. I was just trying to let you know that if you said my my name as a Christian came from the behavior of Jesus Christ, and from Christ I become a Christian. Do you understand that? From Christ they call me Christian because I follow his footsteps, his way of life, and other things. So if you think that's why I keep saying that, okay, who at least, and if you check the lineage of Jesus Christ, you can trace it back to Abraham and others. So that is why I was called a Christian. But when it comes to Muslim, after Jesus Christ is gone and you just wake up and you said, in I think that I cannot drag with you guys, because that's your own belief and that's my own belief. So definitely I'm not trying to make you understand that. But if you go back to history very well, you will see that there are things undone and unsaid in the Quran, in which you know that. Because I believe that you submit to the will of Allah. And after that, explain to me that, okay, in the, I don't want to just say this, maybe I've
I can't hear you.
gone
I
on.
can't hear you very well, man.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, me neither.
Can you hear me?
Hey, Faye, your makeup looks really good today.
You.
Um, I'm banned again. Um,
Oh,
Sorry.
it's kind of a short, long story why. So I'm gonna wrap it up really fast. So basically, I joined the live, right, and I was actually like, we were all pretty cool. And then this guy joins in, right, and he does English is not his first language, Spanish is, right, and you all know I'm Afro Latino, right, so I have like a little connection to him, like emotionally. So then the panel starts attacking him because they asked him what's his pronouns, and he didn't understand the concept of pronouns. So he wasn't answering right away. And so one of the girls, like one of the moderators, joined the panel and then was like, what did she say? She said, I think you coming up here and not saying your pronouns is so disingenuous and it's borderline homophobic. And I checked her because I'm like, the dude didn't even speak English. Like he speaks enough English to get his points across, but he didn't understand the concept of pronouns. And then apparently she dropped down and she started crying. I said that she was so dense for that mindset. So then she dropped down, and then the host like blocked me from the panel and was like, yeah, that she's crying and whatnot, and that was his mutual. And then randomly my account was banned.
Oh my God. Wow. Oh, you
Yeah.
never come in with a boring story. Wow.
Yeah. But hey
That's
everybody.
crazy.
Hi Pruden. Hi Ray. Hi
hey,
Zeno.
Ashley.
Hi.
Assalamu
Hi.
Hey,
alaikum.
my favorite Santeria.
My favorite
Yeah, I can hear
Muslim.
you. Ali, welcome.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam.
Alaikum
Alaikum
assalam.
salam. Alaikum salam. It was funny last night. I don't
Alaikum
remember who.
assalam.
Trick was trying to get people to convert if he paid them, which he wasn't offering enough. He was offering 40 cents. But what's it called again? I
Yeah,
don't
it
even.
has been
I'm
happening.
glad
I've
to
been
kind of
seeing it
switch
here.
topics now. I'm glad Jay came in because I feel like we've
Yeah.
been going in circles, and not actually getting anywhere. So we can shift a little bit now. Into if somebody wants to bring up another topic, or
Can I say
I
something
have topics
really
to bring
quick?
up.
Can I say
But
something
sure,
really,
Chris.
really quick to close up? How did you say dude's
Zeno
name?
has a lot to say.
Wisno? How do I say that?
Zeno.
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 So I
Yes.
want to just extend respect because I feel like his question about John 1:14 is solid. That's a solid inquiry there, and
Thank you very much.
yeah, that's a really great question, and I think it points to like the heart of the difference of what separates kind of Christianity and Islam in a lot of ways. I don't have a great answer for you right now. But
I
I will
respect that
know,
highly.
yeah, I will say one thing, like as we are today, like Christians don't believe that God is flesh right now. Like no one thinks that God is literally flesh in this moment at all. And like even Christ's flesh changed to glorified. He got sanctified and became to glorified form. So what he was in human form became something else through a process. But yeah, I don't want to take up this live going into this and bore everybody with it. If I run into you again, I'm cool to like dive deep into that. But as I said, you're making a good point. It's a good point.
Well,
Thank you very much,
usually
man.
I
Thank you.
wouldn't mind going into it, but I feel like now we've been going in circles and
No
circles.
problem. No problem.
So I'm just trying to kind of shift a little bit.
Dig it.
But oh, sorry, Jay just called this his home live, which made me feel really
Oh yeah, this
um
is like my home. This is my people. Like I see you guys like every day.
Yeah.
yeah. Although, so what I wanted to shift to, I guess we could really, if anybody has a different topic they want to bring up, we can. If not, I have some topics to discuss. But I kind of what we were
Can I
talking
throw
about
one out
last
there?
night.
Can
Oh
I throw
yeah,
one out
for
there?
sure.
Even though I don't think anybody here can actually explain, I wish Juju was here because she can, or I say give a proper input, not explain. But I just came from a live, right? The host ended the live. We was on live like almost all day.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was kind of waiting for this one, but so the topic, one of the topics was why are African Americans Christian? Right, and honestly it was kind of like a trap, like a reel in to reel in those black Christians. But the thing is, for me personally, I don't feel like black African Americans should be Christian, and the reason for that is because it was forced during colonization. So it's like the same people who are colonizing you, the same people who are enslaving you and dehumanizing you, are throwing a book in your face and telling you to follow this.
Yeah, totally get you on
You
that.
know
Yeah.
Can I
You
disagree?
think
Can I
you
play devil's
think
advocate?
I disagree
Yeah,
with that. Do you think
but you know what?
do
So
you
before you
think
go though, one second, I just want to add to his question to kind of make it stronger before you go. Is that even the Romans who killed Jesus, now they're the center of Christianity, even though it was like kind of forced on them too. So it seems like it's a common theme where it's forced on people and they continue following it. Okay, you
And
can answer
wait,
now.
before anybody goes, I want to address
do
this
you think
comment. Oh, hold
do
on,
you
wait.
let me
Before
answer
anybody
this.
else goes,
Let
I
me
want
say
to address
something.
this comment where it says you.
Wait. Let him finish his
Do
question,
you
Prudence,
let me
and then
say
you can
something.
go. Prudence, let him
Prudent.
finish
Hold on,
his
Prudent.
question, and then you can go.
So I want to address the comment. It says you can't force people to be Christian. If it's either be Christian or I'm gonna torture you until you die, I think people will choose to convert to Christianity. You may not force them at heart, but you can force them. And then also, right, keep in mind that for most Black people, they weren't taught to read or write. They were only taught to read the Bible. That's it. And also, right, another thing is too that like immediate slaves, people who were suffering from slavery, yeah, maybe they weren't Christians at heart, but then they had to force it onto their children, and children are going to listen to their parents, or mostly side with their parents at a young age. And if the parents are being brainwashed, the children are going to be brainwashed, and then those children are going to be brainwashed. And then here we are, where a bunch of African Americans deny their roots and follow Christianity almost blindly because that's all they've ever known.
Okay. Yeah. And now Prudence, you can go. I know you're itching. Prudence? Okay. Prudence. Okay, if somebody else wants to answer.
Yeah, I wanted to play devil's advocate for a moment on the other side, which is I get what you're saying, Jay, but on the other hand, whether
Hello.
people forced it on them or not, it doesn't really affect whether the religion is true or not, right? So what's the point of
Hello.
rejecting it solely because it was used to oppress you, unless you think it's actually right or wrong? So I wouldn't
That's what I'm
reject something
saying.
just
Like,
because it's been forced on me.
that's what I'm saying. For me, I think what happened was it was a matter of brainwashing in a way. And it was not even brainwashing, because that sounds kind of like supernaturally, but like it was conditioning. They conditioned these slaves to conform to Christianity. Like they like I said, the slaves, they only taught the slaves how to read the Bible, right? And they beat people who decided to step out of this religion. They're like, be Christianity or I'm gonna torture you, right? And then those slaves taught it to their kids, who taught it to their kids, who taught it to their kids. And now, if you I don't know if you've stepped foot in an American Black church or African American
Nope.
church, right? But if you did, you'd know that it's almost like a popularity contest. Like the people who's there the longest, they have like the utmost respect. They're like how do you
I've
say,
seen enough Black American films to know that.
yes, it's almost like a popularity contest. It's like they're there to show off that we've been into Christianity longer than anybody else, right? And then it's like they start how do you say it? I don't know the names of like the leaders of the church, but they start making each other leaders, like pastors and things like that. So it's weird. It's like the if you step out of it and you look at it like the whole painting, it's a weird painting.
Okay,
That's
now oh shoot, somebody else wants to come up. Oh, it's Prudent trying to come back. Um
Can I
Prudence.
go ahead?
Oh yeah, Chris, you can go. I guess because I can't hear Prudence. Yeah.
And then Five
Yeah, can you
Lobster
hear me now?
Whiskey. Do they have like a name I can like a way to refer to them that they like, or just say Five
Jay.
Lobster? What is it?
Jay,
Jane?
as far as I know.
J?
J. The letter J, yeah.
I'm
Okay,
sorry, I
cool.
was responding to a comment. You could just call me HT or Lobster or Jay.
1 second, sorry. Before you go though, my Discord link is not working, so don't click on that.
Oh, I'm sorry. And
No,
just to
no, you're
respond to
fine.
that comment, absolutely, I do think my ancestors would be way better off in Africa.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, Chris, you can go.
Well, I mean, I have a partial remark to this. I mean, it's going to be like, I don't want it to be offensive. So I kind of have to preface it with that. And it gets to a longer conversation about kind of the process of slavery itself, which isn't to justify anything. It's just to kind of add more information so we can look at things from like a greater context, right?
Uh-huh.
But this, like,
Yeah.
the process of obtaining slaves to begin with, when we talk about the slave trading companies, right? My understanding is the initiation of like getting slaves had a lot to do with purchasing slaves from West African kings that were going inland and were capturing. So this would have been, you know, Black African tribal leaders going in and going to war against other tribes, conquering them, pillaging, taking back slaves, and then selling them to.
Well, can I rough out your edges a bit?
Well, can I finish it just real quick and
Yeah,
I'll hand it back to you?
finish, and then I want to like rough out your edges because some information is lacking there too.
Okay. Well, just to note it quickly, these African tribal leaders would have been practicing their respective, like indigenous religions,
Which
and
I
they still,
practice, by the way, but continue.
yeah, and they were very much complicit in this horrendous, like the triangle slave trade, right? So it wasn't one faith group only participating in this thing. Also, they were practicing slavery. All indigenous tribes are doing this too. So the only reason I say that is just to note that like slavery itself is not singular to Christianity. It's an aspect of multiple types of civilization with multiple religious systems.
Second.
Which has mainly been Christian. I mean, even putting slavery aside, Christianity throughout the centuries and pre-slavery have always found it necessary to go to the most far-off places in Africa and force conversion. Roman Catholic Church, what do? They go into all parts of South America, open churches, educate, and force religion.
Yeah.
Well, wait. I also wanted to respond to Chris. I'm sorry, my mom was asking me what I wanted to eat.
Sorry, Jay.
So Chris, right? So
Yeah.
in Africa at that time, right? There's a bunch of tribes. So current day Nigeria isn't technically like under one ruling. Like, well, there's the Oba of Nigeria, right? Which translates to king, right? But there's plenty of different tribes in Nigeria, which you got right, which was, there's Yoruba, there's Igbo, there's Oyo, there's a bunch of different tribes. They all were warring with each other. The part that you're missing when it comes to African slavery versus the palm colored slavery, is that when that the Nigerians, when they captured quote unquote slaves, and I say quote unquote because they were more like indentured servants than slaves. These people were caught in territorial wars because the tribes warred over territory. So they were caught in territorial wars. They still lived in their houses. They just had to indoctrinate to whatever the tribe that captured them. Okay. When it came to quote unquote selling these people off to slavery, these white men were offering them resources in exchange for these people. Now, what the Nigerians were familiar with slavery, it wasn't the concept that Pomp people enforced. The concept was indentured servitude. So like working under that tribe and providing resources for that tribe. But there was no whips. There wasn't aggression involved. When it came to palm colored slavery, I'm talking like it, and I'm maybe scooting forward maybe a couple years. But like Black people were turned into furniture, and they were also ate at roasts and lynched from trees. So like, it's a way different concept of slavery than the Africans had.
Well, I mean, cannibalism has always existed in Africa and happens today. And
Not in Nigeria. Not in Nigeria.
Maybe not so, but I mean, the white slave traders wouldn't have only purchased their slaves from Nigeria only.
Right, but majority, if you trace back most of the bloodlines of like around that time, most of it came from Western Africa. That's Ghana, that's Ivory Coast, that's
Yeah.
Benin, that's Nigeria.
Right.
And a lot of it also comes from the Congo people too, which is a little bit more inland, but all of it came from that area. The greatest amount of it came from that area. Nobody in that area practices cannibalism.
Sure. I'm just saying on the continent itself, like we can find atrocities everywhere. I don't think that like sick people in the American continent were practicing cannibalism against black people because of the Bible.
You're right. But what I'm saying is the how do you say it? The reasoning, or how do you say, the one of the biggest inspirations, well, not inspirations, but the how do you say it? Excuses for slavery was Christianity. That's what the palm colored people used, was Christianity as a reasoning to why they're enslaving these people, right?
I got it. I'm
And then it kind of
unfamiliar.
manifested into something else where they are practicing cannibalism in really like rural southern areas. There was even like a document that came out not too long ago of a white woman who was a slave owner, which is interesting too already. And she had a basement full of her slaves where she practiced weird like experiments on them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't doubt that like horrendous atrocities took place in this like awful institution of slavery. My point I'm trying to say is it predated the institution of Christianity. Slavery has been with us since the beginning of agricultural society, and it's in every other civilization. So it's just kind of, to me, it's like when a civilization does something and then it's correlation, not causation. That's the way I'm trying to explain it. And I mean, it's a horrible, horrible thing. In
Right.
addition to
I can understand what you're saying, because obviously these people didn't do it because of Christianity. They did it for resources. That's what they did it for, honestly.
Yeah.
Right, but
Yeah.
it doesn't change
one
the
of the
fact that
biggest
they had a religion
backings,
forced on them.
one of the ways they oppressed the people, it wasn't only with abuse, but it was also with spiritual abuse. They abused these people in any way possible: spiritual, physical, sexual, mental. They abused these people any way possible, and one of the abuses was spiritual abuse through Christianity.
Yeah.
And now in the US, we see a bunch of black people who follow Christianity, which was and some people use the term gift, and it wasn't a gift. It was a form of torture.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not gonna lie, something beautiful did come out of it, where people are, it's their way of life, because Christianity itself is not inherently bad. But the question is, my thing is, and something I'm observing, is that these people, the black Christians in America, it's almost like they're brainwashed into believing that this is the only way of life, because for a lot of these people, Christianity is all they've ever known.
Yeah, and so to me the question becomes, though, it's not is it an only way of life, though, it's a matter of, is it, when done correctly, is it a respectable way of life, right? So Martin Luther King was a Lutheran minister, and he led the civil rights movement itself. And I mean, he did that. He was able to enact what I would call spiritual warfare to overcome oppression because of his imitation of Jesus Christ. Like, exactly.
But what I wanted to say, right, is you're not black, and I'm not excluding you from the conversation because you're not black. But what I'm saying is, in black culture, one of the biggest, if a lot of people, their trauma starts not only at home but in the churches. That's where a lot of trauma comes from, especially with queer folk, where they're being excluded from their households even because of Christianity and because of how brainwashed these people are into Christianity. Like
And on
Faye
top
always
of
says, their love
yeah,
is conditional, and the
right. And on
condition
top
is
of that,
Christianity.
I want to add, I think you're not addressing the point though. Chris, on top of that, this was a religion that was forced onto people. So they're not necessarily believing it because they have done the research. They're believing it because their parents were forced to believe it.
And their parents was forced to believe it. And
I
so,
Right.
I get yeah, I dig that. I don't know where we draw the line between the English language was forced on all these people as well. Their language was
Agreed.
taken away and they were forced to speak English. Do we now say like black people shouldn't be speaking English? This is the language of the oppressor. And it's like, well, English is still like it's still a valid language though, even
but
though a people
English is spoken in Africa too. Like even before colonization, English was spoken in
The Bluetooth
Africa.
device
I mean, it
is
was a
ready
different
to
version.
pair.
It was a different version of
The
English. It was a
Bluetooth
very Prudent. Can you mute yourself? It was a very like different dialect of English, like an older version of English, but they still spoke English. So
but
English,
also on top of that, it's not a we're not saying
Hello,
that Christianity
sorry
is
I
not a
have been
valid religion, but that it was
but
forced
you
on people.
and
But Jay's
also
claim is that black people should not be Christian because of the crimes committed and
uh,
Christianity's involvement in that. And
right, and I
so
want to make a point too, right? Nobody's being kicked out of their houses for speaking English. People are getting kicked out of their houses and disowned by their families because the whole family follows Christianity almost blindly, and I say almost because faith is faith. I mean, it depends. For me, I say almost blindly because again, there's that variable of it being forced. But they're following it almost blindly, and then when their family members or their children of the house do not follow um the rules of Christianity, which even those rules can be argued, it's like, how is that okay? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, obviously English was taught to Africans, right? Um, that were brung over from the West Africa, but nobody's being kicked out of their houses for speaking English.
yeah, I mean the question then to me though becomes, and also the Ethiopian church predated most like white conversions to Christianity. The church in Ethiopia existed. It was one of the first churches. I think it might
Right.
have been the first, right? And so this is all. There was no forced conversion there. So, I mean, black people have been Christian longer than most white Europeans have been
Actually,
Christian.
wait, to correct you again, I'm sorry. But the Christianity, the form of Christianity that Ethiopians practiced was way different than Jerusalem's version of Christianity. After it was brung over to the Middle East, then that's when it started. Like the storyline became Jesus. Jesus was included into Christianity, which in turn gave it the name Christianity, followers of Christ, right? And then Europeans took that and made it what it is.
So, what are you saying? Like, what was going on in Ethiopia then?
Can I ask a question?
I mean, I recently learned about this, so I can't really tell you, and I'm not Ethiopian to be able to tell you based off my own knowledge of my own culture.
Yeah.
So I won't be able to tell you, but I bet you it wasn't as bad as it is today in America.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a separate conversation, like American Christianity and how far that is differentiated from like what the true essence of what Jesus first taught should be.
Right.
Do you think we have black characters in the Bible though? Do you think we had like Moses could have been black and like
I, as a Muslim, believe Moses was definitely black.
Yeah,
yeah.
I think so. But also like you were mentioning like what did you say? Like American Christianity, right, is different than foreign Christianity, right? But then also even more like internalized, black Christianity is way different than the way white people practice Christianity. And obviously there's a gray zone, but mainly. If you go into black churches, it's way different. It's a whole different experience than it is in a white church.
When you say black people shouldn't be Christian,
Then
what do you replace it with though? What do you think they should be
They
instead of
should be
Christian?
whatever their ancestors practice. I know for me in Yoruba land,
I mean, have you been there
That
we
before?
makes no
practice
Maybe
sense. With
Ifa.
all due
you
respect,
said
Jay, that makes no
Oh,
sense
black
to say
Jay,
whatever.
Jay, I disagree with you as well to that point where you said like they should be what their ancestors believed in. I disagree with you. I think people should do their own research
No,
and
absolutely.
believe
But
what
what
they
I
want
meant
to
to say,
believe.
what I meant by that was without the influence of Christianity, like the way the it was forced onto them. Because if it wasn't forced onto them, 9 times out of 10, there wouldn't
not
be
for
so much black Christian.
There's no way to now take away that influence.
Right.
So I think from here, people should do their own research and whatever religion they decide to do, that's fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
However, to say that they shouldn't be Christian,
There
I
is
think is
no
it.
force. It wasn't
What?
forced.
It was forced. What do you mean? There's
I
proof
said,
it was
there's no
forced.
religion.
What?
There's no religion is a force on anyone.
I
Yes,
disagree. I disagree with
absolutely.
that, Prudence.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
You.
there's proof that it was
I
forced onto
only know.
people.
I only know that if you are, I understand. When you go back to research, you discover that Islam wasn't preached, but Christianity was preached. These are the two differences. If you go back to history, you discover that Islam was through jihad. It was through conquering a village by athletics. If you check back, you
According
discover
to
that
who?
it
What
wasn't
history are you
preached.
reading? Please stop speaking for us.
Wait,
I
and
don't speak for
also
your
No,
Prudence,
history.
you're
You
it's
not
speak
it's
for
the
even
mine.
major
you're speaking
thing.
you're speaking for Islam, right? That's one. And then you're speaking for
No, I'm
American
not speaking
slavery.
for that. You get just go back, just get that.
You're
The
speaking
origin
for
of Islam,
American
you get
slavery.
You're speaking for
no,
everybody.
you
It seems like
And he's wrong though. Like that's the
you're
part
very wrong.
that's shocking.
last year. I think the last before my network gets off. Well, the discussion I had that is someone was saying that since since Christianity was since Christianity was forced on black, so why would they accept the religion? I think that was the last thing I had
Wait,
before my
can I
network
quickly say something
went
when
off.
you're done, Prue?
What he was saying was the last thing he heard was Christianity was being forced on Africans.
But it
And
but it
what
was but it was forced on people.
yeah, so
Network here.
African American, like the Africans that were brung over from the slave trade, Prudent. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking
Prudence,
about
it's hard to
everybody in
hear you.
Africa.
Sorry, let's let Prudence speak. But Prudence, you're breaking up again. Okay. Okay, Zeno, I guess you can go.
Well, I
'Cause
mean,
I
to
can't.
say that religion hasn't been forced on people is a lie. Even I, as a Muslim, can contend that there are people that have forced other people into their religion, Christians. And first of all, the Christians are the last people to speak. If you want to talk about the Crusades, the Spanish Inquisition, which their whole point was to try and force people
But they're
into.
still Christians, though.
Sorry?
They're still Christians. The Crusades was ran by the Pope of Catholicism. Catholicism is a form of Christianity.
Yeah, it's a form of Christianity. I agree. The point I'm trying to say is people of all religions have engaged in forcing other people into being a part of their religion. I don't. I think that's a matter of fact. I'm not sure why Prudent is denying that.
I mean, not all religions, but yeah,
No,
for
not
a
all, not
lot
all
of
religions,
parts.
but I'm saying that there's precedent in
There's a track
in a
record.
lot of the religions.
Yes.
Was he maybe trying to say like you can't force true religion on people? Like
That's why I
No.
agree with you. No, I agree
See,
with you in
I
that in
disagree
terms
with
of
you.
I
no,
still disagree with you because if that was true, that Africans today, after we abolished slavery, they probably would have converted back to or went and searched for
Jay,
whatever.
I don't think that's what he means. I think he's saying the religions itself don't teach you to go and oppress people and force them into your religion.
Oh, right.
But it's the people that do it. I think that's what he's trying to say, and that I agree with. But that doesn't mean it hasn't happened.
There's definitely been like endless religious based abuse. I mean it's really bad. It's a horrendous form of it's like taking the most sacred thing and making it the most
evil.
Yeah, it's wild. Like, and a lot of the most evil things done in history have been done in the name of God. So I mean, I dig that. I probably need to be like humble enough to acknowledge that if I was an indigenous person or a black person, I might have a totally different vibe of something, and I appreciate that. It is upsetting to me because it's just not the Jesus that like I know. Um the other thing is, one of my church homes, like we're like half black, half white, We have probably like 6 or 7 interracial marriages, and like,
Right. That's what I
we
was talking about, the gray zone.
what's the gray zone?
Because I was saying, like, there's like when you were mentioning like the difference between American Christianity and other foreign versions of Christianity, or how they run Christianity. I was saying that we can even like look a little more internally and see the difference between how black churches run their churches and white churches run their churches. And then I mentioned the gray zone, and that's where I guess your church falls in, because you mentioned interracial marriage.
Yeah, this one church, I mean, even like politically, it's a more left leaning, like it's not a pro Trump church, the majority of the people there. Um, like, the Civil War in itself, like the Baptists, like we have all these issues with the Southern Baptist Conference. Like the Southern Baptists became the Southern Baptists because they said you could be Christian and own slaves, and the Northern Baptists broke from them. Um, there's no way to like get around Christianity being the religion of the people of America who committed these like horrendous atrocities. I just I don't know. I think we have to work with.
Right.
To
I
me,
think, Chris,
I go back to
research
Jesus.
with
I don't
you.
know. I go back to Jesus, and it's malpractice, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. And like,
But
for
again, it's not
example,
addressing.
the part that bothers me too, right, is well, you didn't say this, but I remember, I think in this chat we were having that conversation. I think we were probably having it with Trip. I think that's the first time we met Trip, right, Faye? Like, he was arguing that those people weren't true Christians, but they were
Yes.
true Christians. They followed Christianity to the T, except they included slavery and colonization. And also, remember, these people, they took parts of the Bible to support their ideologies. Like, they said that God told us to be fruitful. God told us to what did they call it? The milk land or something like that? To
The land
find
of milk and honey.
the land of milk and honey, right? And like, even like, if you see some of these racist, not racist, I don't know why I say racist, but if you see like some of those old fashioned Oprah shows, right? There was this one kid who even said God gave us America. And he's a kid, so I'm sure he got it from somewhere, i.e., a church or his parents.
Jay, do you believe in God? Like, do you
I,
have a religion?
I do. I'm a like I said, I follow the indigenous that you mentioned from earlier. And I mean, I follow a more like I dissected version of it a bit. It's called Santeria, but the proper term is Lukumi.
And this is indigenous from Africa or Latino, like South American
A
indigenous?
mix of both. So it was originally from Africa, but during the slave trade, it was brung over to the Caribbeans, where Catholicism, not Protestant, but Catholicism was forced on the slaves. So what they did was, because it was Catholicism, right? And I think it's such a blessing that it was Catholicism instead of Protestant. They were able to take the deities from this religion, right? And they took the saints, right, the Catholic saints, and they integrated them, so that when slave owners would walk by and they're talking about their deities, right? They would use code words, aka the saints, so that the slave owners would think that they're talking about Catholicism, and they're not. So it was a blessing for them to be able to hide their religion and still practice
I
while being
understand.
enslaved. Yeah.
Can you tell me like what is the principle? Like, I understand religions are complex, and I'm not gonna be able to understand something like super simply, but like what is this religion that you practice? What's it about? Like, is it compassion? Is it like Buddhism?
So it's kind of similar to like voodoo. Like, I know voodoo is very popular. So I can compare it to voodoo, but it's not voodoo. But I can compare it to voodoo only because, right? So Lukumi, right? So when the slaves were brought over to the Caribbeans, all the slaves didn't just go to one island. They spread out, right? They went to all types of islands where there were also Tainos or indigenous people living there. So when these slaves were brung over to Haiti, right? Or current day Haiti, it became voodoo, right? The integrated version of their religion became voodoo, which is more popular. When the slaves landed in Cuba, it became known as Lukumi, which is now um, called Santeria, or in English, the Way of the Saints, right?
Mhm.
Um, when it went to different islands, it became a different religion in itself. But I can compare it to voodoo because it's very similar. The whole diaspora, the name of these diasporas, the umbrella term is called ATR, which is African traditional religions.
Mhm.
And a big majority of them are closed practices. So you can't, like, you have to be initiated, which is like baptized in a way, in order to practice these religions fully. People can still practice them without being initiated, but it's very limited.
Mhm.
But yeah.
I mean, is there a code of ethics? Is there like
There's no Bible. It's a very oral religion. It's oral tradition.
yeah.
Say that again.
Like, are you like does it have a prohibition against like killing, or does it have a prohibition against
Yeah,
stealing?
absolutely. Yeah. So it doesn't have a prohibition against stealing though. Um I know, like, so it's very personal, this religion. It's very, very personal. Like, for example, each person gets their own set of like omens, like bad omens, good omens, things of that nature. And it's all written in a book when you get initiated.
Yeah.
It's a week-long initiation process, and then you have to go through a rite of passage for a year long. Um, and I'm in the middle of my year. I was just recently initiated after practicing for 3 years. Um, so when you get this book, there's a bunch of omens in there. Like, for example, like for me, right? Um, it says that I should stay away from like certain foods, because it could be a bad omen. Like, I could get sick or whatever the case is. So it's very personalized.
I dig it. Is it similar to Wiccan? Is it like pretty
Yeah,
like
it's similar to paganism and Wiccan, yeah,
okay.
in a way.
All right. Does it have the potential to be used in like abusive manners?
It does, in a way, and the the reasoning for that is because there's a secrecy involved, because at the end of the day, this is a close practice, so some things are private, right? And the reason why the secrecy is there is because of slave times, because our religion was viewed as devil worship and stuff like that, so we had to become secret to protect ourselves, right?
Yeah.
um and then what was I gonna? Oh, I was going with that. So some people, right? There's been some talk in the religion. It's a very small community. Like, it's large, but it's very small. So word gets around fast. There's been talks of like people like going through fake initiations and things like that, because the thing with initiation is you need to be initiated, right? You're a devotee. You need to be initiated. So somebody needs to initiate you, and some people, there's been talks of like some people who's like quote unquote initiated themselves, which is immoral because there's a, like I said, it's a week-long ceremony, a year-long rite of passage. Like it's very intricate. So yeah, it has the potential to become abusive in a way.
And so, do you believe in like do you believe in spirits or like entities outside
Absolutely.
of you do?
Outside of what?
Out us like there's things like
Oh yeah,
we can
absolutely,
harness, we can
absolutely,
like with certain rituals we can kind of maybe utilize those forces or
absolutely. So one of the biggest pillars in this religion is ancestry. So you always have to acknowledge the ones that come before you. And one second.
yeah.
Sorry, just to address the guy in the comments, I didn't say anything about Protestant. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. Sorry, continue, Jay.
So we believe in ancestry. Ancestry is a really big thing. It's a big pillar in the religion. You can't do any ceremony, anything without acknowledging the ones who brung you here, right? Um, and we do believe that after our ancestors have passed, they still walk the earth with us in guidance, right? And then we also still believe in the saints, even though that was in a way forced upon us. We still acknowledge the saints because they were integrated with our deities. So there's two sects in our religion. So there's la regla de Ocha, which is the way of Ocha, and Ocha is being initiated, like the deities and stuff. And then the other section is how do you say it? Espiritismo, which is spirituality. So in Espiritismo, we do acknowledge the saints.
What about like do you believe that there are certain entities that are evil? Like
So that's a different section. Because another thing in my religion is that you can practice more than one, right? You can practice more than one religion at one time. And usually you'll see this very common with people practicing other ATR religions. So there's another religion called Palo Mayombe, which is I can't remember the translation because I don't practice Palo Mayombe, but Palo in Spanish is stick, so I don't know if that helps. But anyways, so in Palo Mayombe there are darker spirits. I don't, like I said, I don't practice Palo Mayombe. That's a close practice in itself. So I'm not too coined on that, but I have heard of like darker spirits coming from that section. So
okay, and like what about like animal sacrifice as part of the ritual?
we
So
do, we do believe in animal sacrifice. We also believe in possession, but it's
mhm.
very different than the way like videos and stuff depict it.
And then can you cast spells onto people? Can you put like negative spells onto people?
So spells are kind of, that's not really the right term. So the term that we use that are spells in a way are called eboses or ebos singular.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I can say you can. There's little like little witchy tips and tricks that people recite orally to each other, like pass down orally. So yeah, like little things you can do either to protect yourself, to bring harm or negativity to somebody else. Me
I haven't
personally,
tried it yet, but he did tell me a few.
yeah, I'm
Or he
very, for
didn't.
me.
He didn't tell me. No.
Oh, I didn't tell you nothing, remember. But for me personally, I'm very pure hearted. So I also, another thing too in the religion is we do believe in a form of karma.
Form of what? Karma?
We do believe in a form of karma. So like
Yeah.
for me, I feel like if I was to do something bad to somebody, it'll come back to me.
Okay.
Also, I'm sorry, but I gotta go, guys.
Okay, bye, dear.
Thanks,
Bye.
Jay.
I'm gonna still sit in the comments though.
Okay.
Bye, Jay.
But what's it called again? To get back though to what I think a point that he brought up that was not fully touched on was that, or I don't remember who brought it up, but that Christianity has a history of forcing people into the religion, and to me it seems weird, even the fact that, no, this was not brought up yet, but even the fact that right now Rome and Italy is the center of Christianity, and they're the ones that kill Jesus. It just seems to me